Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips. Today we are going to let you watch us, what we do, that is argue about different positions in the
Typical married
space.
couple. No, so we've been in this space for quite a long time, and I think one of the rare things that we can offer people is a chance to see two different people that have been in this space for a very long time that have similar philosophies, but argue on different things that are happening in this space.
Yeah.
And one of those things is Binance. For me, Binance, I like Binance. I think that CZ is very ambitious and he makes a lot of good calls. Mm-hmm. And I have faith that he's actually going to do pretty well in the future. Heidi, on the other hand, go for it.
I mean, I feel like you're more of a more pragmatic, and I'm more ideological. So I think that lends to some healthy friction.
Yeah.
To kind of test each other and, have some good conversations that can bring light to both of those. So especially with Binance, I mean, we tend to have this little conflict whenever it comes up, which I think is good.
All the time.
Because they're both beneficial, I think, to have.
Yeah.
Maybe tie me more to reality and what's actually happening, and maybe for me to remind you how it should be or could be.
Yeah. And so the recent developments with Binance is that Europe, go for it.
Yeah, well, like most recently, it's been a lot lately, but most recently now, for those people who are in Europe that want to deposit funds onto Binance using SEPA, S-E-P-A payment gateway, it's no longer allowed. You can do withdrawals, but you can't deposit from that anymore. So, I mean, I'm sure soon you won't be able to withdraw using that either. That's just, obviously they got to give them an option to get their money out in that way.
Yeah, so this has been like a continual thing that's actually, it's back-to-back bad news for Binance.
Back to back.
Exactly. So like Japan, the Cayman Islands, Canada,
well, at least just Ontario and Canada, but yeah.
Thailand, all these places are saying, oh, they're unregistered, and blah, blah, blah. But why all of a sudden? Mm-hmm. And my theory is that, and something that I've been telling you guys for a while now, before any of this has happened, is that Binance needs to watch out because they are competing against the old structure of stocks and things like that. And so, you have millennials that are kind of getting sick of stocks and pretty much know it's all manipulated because, of what happened with GameStop and the hedge funds that had, they lost a couple boats because they lost a little bit of money, but obviously made it all back. So, millennials are pissed, and they're starting to go to exchanges where, oh, it's crypto, like, sweet, okay, so we're not going to get ganged up by Wall Street anymore. Mm-hmm. Wall Street can only do so much in the arena of crypto, literally only so much, because you have a very transparent blockchain, especially for Bitcoin, mm-hmm. and there's only so much people can do, whereas Wall Street can print up a bunch of stock certificates and screw over the investor without even telling them, whereas this is a much more transparent way of investing. And I think millennials know that. So millennials are going over to Binance. And Binance is very accepting, it's easy to trade. You don't have to spend hours on hours, trying to open up many different accounts. So Binance, has many different coins out there, and it's very user friendly. People can lend out their coins, they can stake their coins, whatever, which is pretty much lending out their coins. And I see that as a threat, a huge threat to people like, E-Trade or TD Ameritrade or Robinhood or any of these people that have the regulators, global regulators in their pocket, and you know that they do. I mean, it's not a secret anymore, especially with what we've seen recently with GameStop and AMC. So that's where I see this headed. I see that people realize, oh my gosh, CZ and Binance, they are competing. They're taking a lot of money from us, and we need to stop this. And we need to jump into this game as well. And I see that as, it's kind of obvious that boom, 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 back to back, regulators are stepping in. So what are your thoughts?
Well, okay, so the whole thing is, I feel like your side of it is that CZ has proven to be so innovative and agile and advantageous in how he's developing Binance that even this he's going to kind of wiggle his way out of somehow. And my thought is that he is being kind of in every direction from a lot of different countries now, is forced to having to be confined to these regulations. He's stopping the SEPA withdrawals. It's, other payment options have been canceled in the UK. And each of these countries is different, what they're requiring from Binance to change, or what they're not requiring Binance to be able to function within that country, whether it's like their futures market or whatever. It's all different. It's not all the same thing. They're not all banning banning Binance, but basically the reason that they can impart changes on Binance is because it's centralized. And that's my argument in a nutshell that I will always stand by, is that, like, if he wanted to be, really disruptive, if he wanted to be immune to the whims of these regulators, then he would have done this in a decentralized manner. He would have taken himself out of the picture. He wouldn't be the CEO of an exchange, and he could actually probably provide a lot more useful things and be a lot more disruptive if that was the foundation.
Okay.
And here's the pragmatic state of mind. What's your argument?
I mean, my argument is that, these are growing pains that Binance is going to have to deal with. I knew this was happening. I knew that this was going to happen way before this happened. Way, like years before this happened. And, you can just tell, like, Wall Street's not going to give up.
Yeah.
That they're greedy as heck, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get their piece of the pie. And so, what is, I mean, think about it this way. Nobody is going to put up, like, kids nowadays are never going to put up with these traditional stocks that you can't just send one stock to another exchange or whatever, and you don't actually own it. Like, nobody's going to put up with that. Like, I'm sorry, if you like stocks, enjoy them while they last, because we're going into a tokenized economy. And so that's where Binance came in first, or not came in first, but came in the strongest, in my opinion. He's created crazy amounts of, different ways to make money in this space with, high APIs, with his lending platforms, like all these coins, like, he uses those coins to go ahead and, move his way around the space. But you know what? I mean, if I wasn't in his shoes, I'd be doing the same thing.
I can't believe you just said that.
I'm serious.
No, Toby, really?
Yeah. If I was in his space and I wanted to get things moved around, like, say for instance, if people deposited enough, ADA on my my
you would enact change on the Cardano network?
The changes that I want, of course.
Without the exclusive permission of those token holders?
Well, they give me the rights to go ahead and do that. Obviously, they don't care.
A lot of people think it's their coins on the exchange. A lot of people don't realize that when you deposit coins onto an exchange, it is literally up to whoever controls that wallet can do whatever they want with those coins.
Exactly.
But like, there has to be some kind of a legal thing.
Well, hold on a second.
Like, is it
wait,
the property
wait. Now we're getting into
depositing?
legal stuff. So you want who do you want to jump in for governance? Do you want essentially a decentralized?
Yeah, I don't know how you enforce that.
Why would you want to enforce that?
If you deposit coins onto an exchange, don't you feel like you have a right to get those coins back?
Yeah, eventually, okay. but they also...
Shouldn't you also have the right to, if that coin has voting power, to make your opinion on that voting power?
Not if you decided to give it to a third party. You have you literally have given up all your rights to whatever that is.
I know. He had the ability to do that because it's a centralized exchange, and that's like the huge negative for centralized exchanges is that it's what big banks do. They take your money, they give you a number on your account, but really your money is off doing something else.
Okay, I got that. But big banks also won't give you back your coins that you can actually hold in a your own coins that have a set amount.
I guess this is like a moral argument.
Okay, well, morality. Okay, so let's talk about morality. He's pretty moral in the sense of he's told people, like right from the beginning, that, okay, if you want to take out your coins, it's going to be a certain amount of days. If you decide to leave it in there, then obviously they're going to be able to vote on things and do whatever they want with that because that's their coins. But they have the responsibility. The only responsibility that they have is to give you your coins back at whenever you decide to want to withdraw.
Yeah.
When it reaches that deadline, like whether it's 10 days to withdraw or 30 days or whatever.
Are you talking about the lock staking?
Lock staking or whatever. Or, they also are smart where they're like, hey, you know what? If you want to take out early, that's going to hurt. We're taking those profits. Exactly. And they tell people that.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. But what I'm talking about a specific situation that happened with Binance, with Steam and Steemit, is that people were holding coins on Steam, holding their Steam tokens on Binance, not staking. That was before staking ever came out. And he used that voting power to enact change on the Steam blockchain.
Okay.
Without anyone's vote, like it's definitely
it's the same thing.
Okay, there's two parties at fault: the people who deposited on the exchange,
okay,
but also him for taking that liberty and being like, "Hey, I got a lot of Steam. I'm gonna do what I want with it." It's a general state of mind of him that I don't gel with, or like I'm not too excited about. I've done a lot of videos on it.
But it's people that are willingly giving up.
Yeah, and that's a huge. But okay, so here's.
So they've given up all the rights. It's kind of like, oh, I don't want to go vote for a president.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put my ballot into somebody else's hand.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So okay, I feel like.
And
obviously, another thing that we often talk about is this whole concept of like centralized exchanges will always exist. Because there will always be people who just want the super easy option. They'll just deposit their coins in, and then it's this one-stop shop. They just need an email and a password, and if they have it Binance.com, they can store a bunch of different coins really easily. And they can trade it instantly, and it's all these really convenient ways of using it. But again, because it's centralized, that's why it's being morphed into having to abide by all these regulations. So I feel like your argument is that they're always going to exist, so there's always going to be a use case for Binance. And then I feel like my argument is like, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, let's be realistic here. I mean, obviously centralized exchanges are going to thrive. They have to.
Thrive? Okay, that's where I'm going to argue with you. Thriving?
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
They're going to be the same as any other centralized, regulated platform that you're saying millennials are running away from.
No, they're not. No,
if they're centralized, how can they be disruptive?
No, they're not, because number one, we have a distributed ledger that's global, permissionless. Mm-hmm. It's called Bitcoin.
Yeah.
like Bitcoin is so different from stocks, which has an elastic supply, and can be printed on whim.
I know, but we're talking about Binance.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
The
entry
point, the access point.
But hold on, we're talking about Binance, what they offer. They you can go to PayPal or whatever, or some other person that's going to buy or sell Bitcoin, and they're going to not give you the private keys when you want them.
Maybe that's what's coming next, is that Binance won't allow you to withdraw your coins onto a different wallet. Maybe it's going to turn into E-Trade in that.
And I agree with you for people like the U.S. I think that
would suck.
Yeah, I get it, and that's why we renounced our U.S. citizenship, because we knew things like that would happen.
Yeah.
We're trying to be as anti-fragile as possible, and so with Bitcoin, as long as you can get back your private key and put it onto your hardware wallet.
Fair enough, yeah.
That's really important. That's the main thing. That separates.
So that's enough to set it apart from the traditional stuff.
Oh, by far. Like, you can never own your stock certificate. Like, I mean, they could have printed up 10 of those if they wanted. There's nothing saying like, oh yeah, this is the only one here that represents that exact stock. It's BS.
But that to me is like,
it's so fraudulent.
For Binance, for that, obviously that's a big difference, ownership of your coins. And Binance allows you to gain ownership of your coins when you buy it and then you withdraw it. Then you have true ownership of your coins.
Yeah.
But like,
when it stops, that's when it's really dangerous.
That's like the bare minimum of setting it apart. You know what I mean? It's like you're still going to have to go through KYC. You're still going to have to be reporting everything that you're doing with your crypto at some point.
That's up to each different country.
Yeah.
In St. Kitts and Nevis, I don't think they're going to have that requirement. You know what I mean? They don't care. You don't have to report your income tax at all. We don't even keep track of our trades. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. This recent ban or whatever from SEPA is, I think I've heard a quote of, they're saying they're doing it to protect people's funds from the high volatility of cryptocurrencies. But you know how I read it as?
Huh.
They're protecting their funds.
Yeah.
Not the actual individual's funds, the bank's funds, because that's how they see it. They don't want their money going towards crypto into something that they can't control and they can't own.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Leave in the comments who you thought won this one. No, I think it's like it's not a
I think the thing
sense of winning or losing.
is like the onboarding capability of Binance is great, but for it to actually be disruptive, it has to be decentralized, and right now, decentralized platforms are not user-friendly. Someone who's new to crypto isn't going to instantly know how to use something like Uniswap. They're not going to have crypto initially to use Uniswap because there's no fiat interaction there.
But that's how the internet started. Internet started like ridiculously hard to go ahead and send an email.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're half asleep and you're sending emails.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's going to evolve. And once it does evolve, it'll be interesting to see where Binance is at that point in time. So
I do agree with that. It'd be interesting to see how he tries to pivot and move and do what
But anyways,
because he will be avoiding it as long as possible.
So with that said, I'm going to show my reference code. Heidi doesn't have to. It's in the link below if you want to sign up for Binance. I still believe in it. We haven't sold any Binance.
Yeah, we're still holding
And
BNB.
if you want to join our Patreon account, you can see like what coins we're holding, what our trades are, classes, and you can just see our portfolio and kind of, if you like, what I would encourage people to do that are just in this space is kind of look at our portfolio. We've been in this space for a very long time, and kind of compare it to yours and see like, and ask yourself, well, how can I change mine around, or is it looking pretty good, And so. Also,
that being said, there's a ton of coins out there, and just because it's not in our portfolio doesn't mean it couldn't be beneficial to have.
Yeah.
But anyway, we talk about all that stuff in our Patreon. And
anyways, thanks for listening. Stay disobedient. Don't follow the sheep. Follow us instead.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.